Earlier last month, I talked about some of the military advances of the Southern Transitional Council, a faction in Yemen's ongoing civil war. Since then, tensions between the Southern Transitional Council and other Yemeni factions, as well as the backers of those factions, the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, have spilled over into the potential for a larger regional conflict. Right at the end of 2025, Saudi airstrikes hit a shipment of military vehicles entering Yemen's port of Mukalla. Military vehicles supplied by the United Arab Emirates and entering a city that was now controlled by the UAE-backed STC. The Saudi Foreign Ministry followed up these airstrikes with a clear warning to the United Arab Emirates, citing Saudi disappointment with the UAE's involvement in the STC's advances and talking about the danger that these actions pose to Saudi national security. While the Emirati Foreign Ministry's own statement rejected these accusations, citing what it called fundamental inaccuracies in the Saudi position, the UAE later announced that it would be withdrawing all remaining military forces from Yemen and declined to support the STC as it came under sustained airstrikes from Saudi Arabia. In the weeks since, those airstrikes have forced STC forces back out of much of eastern Yemen, leaving the remaining territory in the hands of Saudi-backed forces aligned with the UN-recognized Yemeni government. While official statements from both countries have broadly tried to calm tensions, media figures and social media influencers from both sides have hurled invective at each other for days. Saudi influencers have accused the UAE of stoking regional conflicts for its own narrow gain and of tacit collusion with Israel, while Emirati narratives have accused Saudi Arabia of backing Islamist forces to achieve its own interests, while lacking a clear plan of action for addressing the region's numerous ongoing conflicts. While this immediate flare-up in tensions between the two countries seems to be dying down, what we're seeing is the emergence of a new division between states in the Middle East and North Africa, replacing the older axis of competition between Iran and Saudi Arabia that dominated much of the 2010s. On the one hand, the UAE and to some extent Israel are in loose agreement on the need to carve out sources of influence and power projection amid conflict-ridden states such as Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, and Syria. By contrast, Saudi Arabia, in concert with Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt, is more concerned with maintaining the regional status quo in order to preserve its existing allies and to focus on its own domestic concerns. While competition between Saudi Arabia and the UAE is most likely to take the form of a Cold War played out in other states, doing so risks exacerbating the region's unresolved conflicts and igniting new ones.